After 5 years of marriage to Adrian, I just couldn't take his emotional distance anymore. Emery, on Valentine's Day, I asked for a divorce. I've fallen in love with someone else. Let's part on good terms. He instantly blasted me with a wall of exclamation marks, then shot back. It's that guy's fault. Why are you divorcing me? Go find him. What does this have to do with me? No divorce, I won't sign anything. That man seduced you. It's on him, he should stay away from you. Me? Can he even read? That night, Dr. Shaw called me. Dylan has a critical surgery tonight. Could you two press pause on the divorce talk? But what does that have to do with his surgery? Then she added, he's crying too hard to operate. Me? Before we go on, subscribe to the channel and tell us in the comments where you're listening from. Valentine's Day, I knocked off early on purpose. Friends say married couples should lay everything on the table. I wanted to talk things out with Adrian. 5 years of marriage, fewer than 3 nights a month under the same roof. He's too busy. So busy even sex feels like a checkbox. Sorry, emergency surgery. I'd just walked in when his text arrived. I stared at it until tears rolled down uninvited. We'd agreed on tonight a week ago. I wiped the smudged screen, bit my lip and typed fast. No worries, do your thing. When you're free, let's get divorced. I'm exhausted. Adrian's typing. Lingered for minutes before a string of question marks popped up. Why? I snorted, too tired to spar, and replied straight. I've fallen for someone else. Let's call it amicable. More question marks, then a flood of texts. It's that man's fault. Why are you divorcing me? Go find him. What does this have to do with me? I won't divorce you, that guy enticed you, it's his blame. Me? I wondered if Adrian was illiterate. Emery advised him. Think before you text, this is real. I pocketed the phone and ordered DoorDash. But the roses beat the food to the door. I almost forgot. I'd sent them to myself. In my fantasy, Adrian and I would have talked things through by now. I'd lean softly against his chest, eyes brimming with tears. The flowers would arrive. I'd blush and whisper. The past is past. I just want more of your time. Dylan, Valentines give roses, don't they? But it's okay. I can gift them to you. Except, Adrian never came home. Ma'am, please don't cry. The delivery guy sounded panicked. I wiped my face and took the bouquet. Sorry, Cameron. I shut the door, tossed the roses on the table. Then an unknown number rang. Figuring it was my dinner, I answered. It was Adrian's Dr. Shaw. How presumptuous. Dylan has a major surgery tonight. Can your divorce wait? I drew a sharp breath, patience gone. What business is that of yours? What's surgery got to do with divorce? It's not like we can split up tonight anyway. We still need to schedule it. I'm not chaining him. He's at the hospital, isn't he? Silence stretched after my rant. Sorry, but Dylan's crying so hard he can't scrub in. She said it timidly. What did you say? I thought my ears were broken. I couldn't picture Adrian crying. Since our blind date, he's worn a keep-away aura. Even at the height of sex, he stays composed. After hearing you want a divorce, Dylan started shaking and can't operate. You're sure it's because I filed? I had to double-check. She confirmed it. Then Adrian's calm, steady voice drifted through the phone. I'm fine, heading to surgery now. The line clicked dead. I laughed in disbelief. Is this some new prank? What crime did I commit to deserve this punishment? Adrian still came home late. I tried waiting on the couch, but dozed off. I woke in bed the next morning. Every time I've waited up for him, history repeats. At first I was all in. Snacks, drinks, a picked-out movie. I'd watched it twice before conceding he wasn't coming. I even doubted my looks. Was I not pretty enough? But strangers hit on me whenever we went out, so it wasn't that. Now I no longer wait for date night. I just need him home to finalize the divorce. Our beachfront condo was bought together, mostly his money. The car was my parents' dowry, though he barely drives it. And a bunch of other odds and ends. We have to sort it all out. Suddenly a noise startled me. On reflex I called Adrian. No answer. The sound came again, furniture scraping. I dashed to lock the bedroom door. Before I touched the knob, it swung open. Adrian stepped in. Relief melted my knees, my vision blurred. He looked frantic. What's wrong? I burst into sobs and shoved him. Why are you here? Not a word. I thought we had a break-in. The more I thought, the wronger it felt. I'd never imagined waking to him home. Adrian yanked me into a hug. I struggled, but he only held tighter. Sorry, it's my fault. His low voice brimmed with apology. My anger wilted like a deflated balloon. But remembering the divorce, I wriggled free. Time to settle this while he's actually here. I made breakfast, come eat. Before I could speak, he towed me to the table. Spread across it was enough food to pass for brunch. My stomach betrayed me with 2 loud growls. Adrian sat opposite, silent, ladling pumpkin porridge. Start with this to warm your stomach. I took the bowl and sipped. Soft, sweet pumpkin, exactly how I like it. Soon the bowl was empty. I realized he'd only watched me. His place was still bare. My cheeks burned. I'd wolfed it down like a slob. Want rice noodles? I stir-fried them with beef and ham. His voice was gentle. I nodded, another favorite. I suspected Adrian was buttering me up. Yet he actually knew my taste, which felt almost magical. After I'd eaten my fill, I hadn't even opened my mouth before he was already clearing the plates and heading to the kitchen. Watching his tall, slim silhouette, broad shoulders tapering to a narrow waist, his glutes firm and wonderfully springy, I'd once accidentally pressed against them. Of course, the result was that he thought I was initiating something. He'd pinned me to the bed on the spot. I shook my head, flinging the memories out of my mind. I poured a glass of water and set it beside Adrian. He merely glanced at me, then said, "I'm not thirsty. I'm heading to Riverside in a bit. Want to get ready?" I blinked, my brain going blank for a second. Had his voice cracked? No, definitely my imagination. Wasn't he working today? Didn't he have a ton of surgeries? Either Adrian had lost his mind, or he was honestly trying to butter me up. Except for the time we'd picked out my wedding gown, we'd never shopped together. You don't want to go? Do you already have plans with someone? Am I in the way? His tone stayed level, yet I swore I heard a threat of collapse. Mouth faster than brain, I shot back. And what if I do have plans? Adrian's scrubbing hand froze. The plate slipped. He snatched it midair, cool as ever, and kept washing, though his voice seemed to tremble. Could you cancel them? After all, I'm your husband. Had he not said that, I might have admitted I was free all day. I didn't even have work. I'd been laid off. The day it happened, I felt awful. I called him 3 times. He didn't pick up once. By the time I'd drunk myself stupid with friends, he still hadn't shown. Next morning I woke in our bed. No missed calls on my phone. See, he didn't care. Emery, I swallowed the feeling and said flatly. No can do, I'm slammed too. I spun around and left. I thought I saw him sway, but when I looked again he stood straight, staring at the ceiling. Back in my room, I did my makeup and changed. When I stepped out, Adrian wasn't in the living room or the kitchen. Figuring he'd gone to St. John's, I headed out, only to see him emerge from the home office. His gaze skimmed over me, lingered. He's really not that great, is he? I had no idea what he meant. I slipped on my shoes and left. I'd frantically texted Maya to meet me at Riverside. As the door shut, I glanced back. Were his eyes red? I blinked, slapped my forehead. Must have imagined it. Maya had already set off. I hurried to meet her. Once we linked up, I saw Adrian had wired 50 grand. Don't spend his money, Maya warned. I eyed her, wondering if he'd cracked. I'd never touch Maya's cash. She's broker than me. But only a fool refuses free money, so I accepted. While browsing, I casually mentioned the divorce. Maya gaped. You're totally into his face, and he's generous. Bad in bed. I shook my head fast. Technically the sex worked. Emotionally it was bankrupt. You know AI. All technique, zero feeling. She blinked, thoughtful. Maybe he studied it, for you? He didn't date before you. I snorted. Maybe he enjoys every second more than I do. She fell silent. My phone rang, Adrian. He said nothing at first. I only heard sniffles. He'd seemed fine when I left. Honey, I'm sick, can you come? His voice shook, nose stuffed. I remembered the tremor this morning and worried. We might be divorcing, but I couldn't abandon him. With nothing but work in his life, he probably had no one. I rushed home and found him curled up in bed. I'm not disturbing you, right? The words sounded apologetic, yet his face showed no guilt. When I touched his forehead, everything else vanished. Disturb nothing. Get up, we're going to St. John's. I tried to pull him up. Instead, he yanked me onto his chest, looking flustered. I didn't mean to. He turned away, ears scarlet, definitely fever. So polite even now. Quit the politeness, we're way too polite, I muttered, scrambling up, only to be dragged back. This time he simply held tighter me. Hot breath brushed my ear along with his muffled voice. Yeah, then I won't be polite. He tilted his head and kissed my ear. I jumped, struggling gently. Stop it, you're sick. He sounded wronged. You told me not to be polite. That's not what Words gone, my mouth sealed by his. I stayed dazed long after. Instinctively I checked his forehead, temperature normal. I exhaled in relief, until my hand bumped something. A hand warmer? AC set at 75, no need. Remembering his burning skin when I got back, I looked up and caught his guilty glance. I did it on purpose, he rasped. I don't want a divorce. The haze shattered. I shoved him away, shaking with rage. You tricked me home for this? How could you, Adrian? What did I do to deserve being played? He lunged. I shoved harder. He rolled off the bed, forehead thunking the nightstand. I fought the urge to comfort him and flung a pillow. Have you lost it? We're getting divorced. What's the point? Am I your dog, running when you whistle? I have dignity. I dressed and stormed out, checked into the nearest hotel. His calls went unanswered, I texted. Unless it's about the divorce, don't speak. That night he replied, Fine, let's talk divorce. When I returned, Adrian sat huddled on the couch, chin on the backrest, looking up the instant the door opened. In that instant, I saw a glimmer of tears in his eyes. You're home. I turned my head away and gave a cold nod. I sat down across from him. Adrian sniffed. About the divorce, how do you want to do it? I glanced at him and said, If you want the beachfront condo, it's yours. If not, we sell it and split the money according to what we each put in. The car was my dowry, I'll keep it. Anyway, you never drive it. As for savings, I don't know how much you have, but yours stays yours and mine stays mine. Any thoughts? His eyes were rimmed red, and he stared at me for a long moment. Is he good to you? I froze. It took several beats before I remembered who he was. Not wanting to get entangled, Emery nodded and said, Very good. Adrian looked on the verge of tears again. Doesn't first come, first served count? He asked. You were with me first. I snorted. He was faking devotion now. I've spent way more hours with him than with you. You're always pulling doubles. I'll stop pulling doubles. I won't ever again. He suddenly exploded into motion, almost lunging over. He crouched in front of me and cupped my knees. If it's only because I didn't spend enough time with you, I'll quit on the spot. Wait for me, Quinn. Before I could stop him, he was already dialing. I'm resigning. I'll open the form on the intranet in a minute. The person on the other end sounded floored. He hung up before they could speak. He looked at me expectantly, tears sliding down. Now I'll have loads of time for you. I'll rack up far more hours with you than he ever did. Can we not get divorced? My brain short-circuited. Did you hear me? I've fallen in love with someone else. He's not a cat, he's a human. Aren't you furious? Aren't you supposed to rage, interrogate me, kick me to the curb? I couldn't understand Adrian at all. He must have lost his mind. Yet the man in front of me nodded in pain. Yeah, I know. It must be that guy's fault, he hit on you. I was too busy to be there, that's why this happened. It's my mistake, not yours. I'll fix it. I studied his face, hunting for any trace of the Adrian I used to know. There was none. This man wore Adrian's handsome features with a groveling expression. It didn't suit him at all. Are you stupid? Or, whoever you are, get out of Adrian's body. I said it dead serious. Adrian blinked, completely bewildered. Have you been body snatched? Or has some system threatened you? Will it zap you if you disobey? If so, just nod. That's all. Adrian frowned. What are you talking about? He didn't get it? Was he playing dumb? My phone rang, it was Dr. Shaw. Perfect, he'd know. One professional ruse and the truth would spill out. I jabbed a warning finger at Adrian. Stay put. I answered Dr. Shaw on speaker right in front of him. Is Dylan there with you? I glanced at Adrian. He's here. Please put him on. Why quit out of nowhere? He's at the cusp of promotion to associate chief. He can finally join the projects he wants. Tell me what on earth he's thinking. By the end he was practically roaring. I drew a breath. Could this person actually not be Adrian? What? I explained my theory. Silence echoed for ages. So he's resigning because of you. Had he listened to a thing I'd said? I mean, Adrian's personality would never let him forsake work over me. Would too, absolutely would. I didn't expect such an unwavering reply. Now I was the dumbfounded one. Before I could respond, the voice on the phone burst out. Dylan loves you with everything he has. Why must you divorce him now? Can't you wait until the hospital's review, until his assessment passes? I broke into laughter. Love, listen to yourself. I don't want his stupid love. I hung up, feeling the whole world had gone insane. Adrian love me? Impossible. If he loved me, why had I never felt it? If he loved me, why'd he leave me alone night after night? Love, my foot. I glowered at the culprit. My eyes stung. Adrian gave a brittle laugh. Pallid despair flooded his face. Even my love feels unbearable to you? His voice was hoarse, his lips had lost all color. I was too angry to care. I nodded outright. If his love meant I got laid off, if his love meant unanswered calls and 0 callbacks, if his love meant sex felt like clocking in for torture, then I didn't want it. Couldn't afford it. Adrian kept nodding and muttering. Fine. Then I'll let you go. With a final tortured look he added, the condo is yours, the car is yours. And the card I gave you, keep it. I could scarcely believe it. You're taking nothing. Nothing. He can't even pay for a coffee on his own. How's he going to support you? With that he stood up. His body swayed. My heart lurched, but remembering past lessons, I held my breath. He paused at the home office door. "Can I rest here tonight? I'll leave tomorrow." His face looked bloodless, eyes frighteningly red. I couldn't help warning, "If you feel sick, go to St. Mary's." For a moment his eyes flashed. "You care about me." I shook my head. "I just don't want complications in the divorce." He seemed furious. He slammed the door without looking back. I wondered if my words were too harsh. I was about to apologize, but a glance at our WhatsApp thread killed the thought. Our last chat was Valentine's Day. He typed icily, "Major surgery tonight, sorry." In my experience, major meant he wouldn't be home before 2 a.m. Scrolling up, I found the message I'd sent a week before. "Valentine's falls just before spring break. I'd love to spend it together." He'd replied, "Sure." That night I texted Maya. "It's final, divorce happening." She answered instantly. "Thought it through. He treats you well. You were sloppy drunk at the bar, and he didn't look down on you. Plus, you kissed him like you meant it, so maybe you do care." I paused. My only memory of that night was getting axed and feeling horrible. I'd had so much to drink that I thought I spotted Adrian's double in the crowd. "Emery, I kissed that stranger hard, like I wanted to hurt someone. When I woke up, I told myself it had only been a dream. Wasn't it you who took me home?" While the memory was still fuzzy, I thumbed the message and hit send. The reply popped back almost instantly. "No, it was your husband. He called you," I answered. "You punched and kicked him the whole ride, but he never lost his temper. He even looked at you like you're the only person in the room. Honestly, I think the guy still loves you." I stared at the screen, lost. That night I'd only checked my missed calls. I'd had no idea Adrian had phoned and Maya had picked up. Phone still warm in my hand, I drifted to the threshold of the home office. Not a sound from inside, but the door stood a finger's width ajar, so Emery I nudged the handle and peeked. The bed was empty. A muffled sob reached me instead. There, hunched in the corner armchair, was Adrian, crying. His shoulders jerked with every breath, so fragile I barely recognized him. I shut the door fast, head spinning. Was this because I'd asked for a divorce? Before I could chase the thought, a dull thud rang out. I yanked the door open to find Adrian crumpled on the floor, face chalk-white. Panic flattened every question. I fumbled for my phone and dialed 911. By the time we reached St. Dominic's, a cluster of white coats already waited outside the trauma bay. "What's wrong with him?" "High fever, apparently pretty bad. Dylan pushes himself like he's double-parked on life support. No clue why he's in such a hurry. Heard it's about some woman. Keeps one wedding photo on his desk, calls her his honey." A cough cut the gossip clean. Every head swiveled toward me. "Are you Dylan's wife?" someone ventured. I nodded. "May I see his office?" The residents swapped glances, no one eager to answer. "Go ahead." The voice behind me matched the one on my voicemail, Dr. Shaw. She motioned me forward. "Relax, the best doctors in the hospital are on him. He'll pull through. Follow me." Adrian's office felt as spare as the man himself, nothing personal except a water glass. Yet directly across from his chair sat a single framed photo, our wedding portrait. We'd taken it in a rush that day. My smile looked stapled on, and his face could have passed for granite. "Dylan used to brush off every confession he got. Patients, colleagues, didn't matter," Dr. Shaw said. Then out of nowhere we heard he'd married. Everyone figured someone had simply outweighted him. The day that picture appeared, we knew we'd misread him. Turns out you've always been his one, and medicine itself was a gift he thought he could give you. I pivoted, spine stiff. That's impossible. The tumor fellowship track he wanted has brutal standards. Most slots were filled. Only one surgical seat stayed open. For years he's pulled a double, triple, then quadruple load, refusing to let a single surgery fail. The grind, even I as his Dr. Shaw, my heart twisted watching it. Tears shimmered in her eyes. I turned back to the photo, throat closing. Once I'd dreamed of med school too, until the lectures blurred and the cadaver names wouldn't stick. That helplessness had tinted my entire college life gray. Grandma had died of cancer while I prepped for my middle school entrance exam, but no one at home told me. Each weekend she was on vacation, or back in my grandma's village. On video calls, heavy Instagram smoothed away her hollow cheeks, and her wig gleamed under soft light. We'd promised to meet at the beach the minute my exams ended. Sam, every application I submitted listed pre-med, but ability I learned isn't democratic. And Adrian? Vision swimming, I remembered the blind date I hadn't wanted, until I heard doctor. I'd idolized white coats since Grandma's diagnosis. If someone in our family had worn one, would the tumor have been caught earlier? Could a better specialist have bought her time? Yet I'd never told Adrian any of this. "Vivian." The voice was hoarse, Adrian himself. A hospital gown hung off his shoulders, for tubing snaking into his hand, skin still paper pale. His gaze slid to the wedding photo and faltered. "Sorry for wasting your time." I shook my head. "Why did you go into medicine?" He was quiet so long I thought he wouldn't answer. At first it was just useful. Then later, while I was studying, I realized. His eyes lifted to mine. "You really don't remember me?" I squinted. A ripple of memory surfaced, too smeared to name. Then Adrian slipped off his glasses, and the image snapped into focus. "You're the quiet from the dining hall." He smiled, small and tired, and nodded. "I paid for your meals 3 straight years, and you never even knew who you were helping." Memory flooded back. The first time I spotted him in college. A scrawny boy eating stale rolls after the cafeteria closed. I saw him again in the lunch line, and since my parents sent more money than I could spend, I made a deal with the cashiers. "Tell him food's on the house from now on, I'll cover it." They'd teased that I must have found my secret crush. I never corrected them. Before city life, before my parents had cash to spare, Grandma and I had survived on thin rice harvest gruel. I knew how hunger humiliates, and I knew charity can wound. Still, the staff must have spilled the truth. "Actually, meals were already free," Adrian said, voice steady. "But I funneled your money toward family debt. My dad died and left us drowning. I was too ashamed to speak to you, so I watched from a distance. Medicine started as a way to survive, until I scrolled through your old posts and read about your regret. I thought maybe, finally, I had something you needed." Tears tracked down his cheeks, quiet broken. "But I still messed everything up. I'm sorry." Without thinking, I stepped close and brushed the tears away with my thumb. "So the night I asked for a divorce, you really were crying." He looked away, ears crimson. "My family never had much, and no one taught me how to talk to girls. I'd never planned on marrying, but when I found out the date was you, I started hoping. Vivian, I know I'm not good enough for you." "If you choose him, he faltered. I picked it up. "What are you going to do?" The tears came faster. He dragged in a breath, then looked straight at me. "I'll let you go. I just want you to be happy, to enjoy every second. I just want you to be happy, to enjoy every second." The words echoed all the way back to when I was tiny. I'd gotten into a fight. The other kids' parents showed up at our house. Grandma paid them off with the money from that year's rice harvest. That night at dinner I sniffled, so guilty I could barely swallow. But Grandma said, "It's all right, good for you. This way you won't be pushed around when you grow up." Still, the money gnawed at me. Then she added, "My little Vivian, from now on just be happy, enjoy every second. We can always earn more money." Adrian's illness turned out to be nothing. They scanned him head to toe and found nothing wrong. By that night his fever was gone. We rode home together. The air felt awkward. Just then Maya rang, asking me out to clear my head. "Since the decision's made, let's bury the past. I'm taking you to see what real beefcakes look like." I glanced instinctively at Adrian. I caught his guilty glance as he reached for his water glass. The glass was empty. He set it down, flustered, and said flatly, "Go ahead, don't worry about me. I'm a doctor. If anything happens, I can call St. Thomas myself. But if it's critical and there's no time, He never finished. I kissed him. This mouth really isn't built for speeches. Adrian's eyes flew wide. I smoothed the tail of his brow. "That profile you've been stalking? I've stopped using it." He swallowed, voice muffled. "Sorry, I'll never do it again." I nodded solemnly. "It really isn't a good habit." Pain flashed across his face again. I couldn't help laughing. "I'm right here. If you want to know me, feel it, don't scroll. An account can't show the real me. Every selfie has an Instagram filter, and the captions do too. Besides, I've made peace with the regret about not studying medicine." Adrian looked frustrated. "Am I too slow?" Something twisted in my chest. "No, you're incredible, fast enough. But this is my own life assignment, only I can finish it." "Adrian, don't you have any regrets or dreams?" Then he looked at me. "I used to dream small, pay off the family debt fast, then earn enough to give my mom a better life. After I met you, I hoped I could make up for your regrets. Later, once we married, I just wanted to stay with you forever." He said it with absolute seriousness, stepped closer, slipped an arm around my waist, chin on my shoulder. "Let me ask one last time. Can we not divorce? I'll try harder from now on." I didn't answer. Even his breathing grew light. "If you still want the divorce, All right, we won't divorce." Adrian stared. "Really?" I nodded, firm. "Really. Our problems were never about deal breakers." Adrian's humility made my heart ache. But I hadn't done well either. I hadn't spelled things out, hadn't told him how I felt. I expected him to understand, but he's no mind reader. And emotional intelligence was never his strong suit. He crushed me in a hug, exhaling by my ear. Perfect. I hugged back and patted his spine. Too tight, can't breathe. He loosened at once. I took his hand and kissed it. His eyes darkened. Can I? He'd exploded in my head. I slapped his hand away, half laughing. You just came back from the hospital. I turned to pour myself water. He pressed against my back. That visit wasn't for this. Still no, your body's too weak. The body behind me froze. When he spoke again, his voice was hoarser. I'm not weak. Then, almost shy. Weak? Want a test? In the end, he carried me to bed. When I woke, I remembered something and asked why he'd always kept such a stern face before. He lay back down and curled around me. I was scared of doing it wrong, so I was extra careful. Then how could you enjoy every second? His cheeks burned, he mumbled. I did enjoy. After a beat, he added, really enjoyed. And later, what about you? I was half asleep, drowsy. I muttered, enjoy every second, a bunch of times. Over the next few days, I noticed Adrian's gaze had changed. Hot and shy at once. I didn't get it until the 7th night he pounced again. I couldn't take it. I need sleep, stop, okay? He blinked. Didn't you say enjoy every second? I stared, no memory of it, until he whispered that night's details in my ear. I shoved him away fast. Enough, that's excessive. Too much of a good thing. Ever heard of it? Seeing I meant it, he finally let me be. 2 years later, I had a pregnancy. Adrian's face went stern. Do you want to keep it? If not, we need to decide early. I hit him in outrage. This is your child. What do you mean decide? Are you even human? I broke down in tears. He rushed to hold me. I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I just know pregnancy is brutal. I was afraid you'd suffer. Of course, if you want the baby, I'm all in. But a baby would burst our 2-bedroom condo. We each need a home office. Then we'll upgrade to a bigger place. Adrian didn't hesitate. I thought of my bank balance and winced. Looks like I'm broke. His expression froze. All blown through? Even the card I gave you. Which card? The one from our wedding day, my paycheck card. Me? I checked the balance. Over $2 million sat there. He'd handed me everything long ago, and I'd just found out, jaw on the floor. Where do you get spending money? I'd saved some before, it's enough. He closed my mouth with his fingers and kissed me. Can I ask, what was the man you loved before like? I never loved anyone else. It's always been you. The answer slipped out on instinct. After everything he'd done, who else could I love? Cameron for listening. If you liked the story, please like and share it with friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more. See you next time.